Well, what's up, guys? So we just finished making the backhoe start and move forward and backwards, so that's nice. A couple little things I need to do electrically on the thing, get some lights working, and fine tune a few things in the wiring. But now I'm back on X. I spent enough time messing with that thing. So one thing that we had going on with X is we had the over temp warning on, buzzing the whole time. Me and Jessica were farting around. I ended up grounding something out and it knocked the electrical down, and I couldn't figure out what it was, but it ends up, it's just, there's a solenoid relay here on the dash, or on the firewall, and it's got really rusty connections. So we're going to take that apart very gently and clean those connections up. We already got it reworking just by wiggling the connections, so we're going to get these connections cleaned up. We found the wire, the culprit, and it seems that they were having that trouble before, so they just took the over temp warning and grounded it. And so what we're going to do right now is, I think that the very front temp sensor on these 3406Bs is the over temp sensor, and if I'm right, that'll be normally closed to ground when it's cold. And then if we warm the switch up to say 210 or 215, then the over temp light will come on. Also, that same switch, we can't use that same switch for fan control because we don't want the fan not to come on until over temp. We want the fan to come on at temperature, probably 200, and pull it back down to 190. So there's a trinary switch. The trinary switch, it's a three-way switch. It's also a temperature sender. So when the temperature, well, it may not be a temperature sender. I'll have to look, because it could use that front temperature sender, might just be the temperature sender for the factory temp gauge, which the factory temp gauge is no longer in this truck. It's a mechanical gauge, which is fine. Seth can change that to the factory style gauge if he chooses to, but I think maybe that front temp sensor could be just the it could be both. No, it has to either be just a temp sensor or the over temp sensor. If it's just a temp sensor, we can't really do the over temp with it. If it is an over temp sensor, then we can. What we're going to have to do is find out at what point this wire goes to ground or comes off of ground to set that over temp light on. So I'll have to do a little research on that. It turns out that the you know, on a Freightliner they have that light bar that has your warning lights and your buzzer. Those things are they're not only just lights, there's logic in there. It has turn signal logic, and it has logic for the buzzer and the lights. And so the turn signals weren't working on this truck. I had a Vigil 1 out of 12, and it was bad. The turn signals would light but not flash, and I bought a new one for that truck and got those working. This truck, we had no turn signals, no light, no flash. And then I swapped that Vigil with the bad one. Now we have lights but no flash. So we know that the Vigil that was in it is bad. We know that the Vigil that's in it now is bad. I made a reach out to a friend of mine here in town who may have one, and hopefully he does, and I can grab that and stick it in, and we get turn signals working on this thing. And then we can get after the over temp. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to do over temp because I've never seen an actual just an over temp sensor, but I'm going to see what that sensor does. We'll see if it's grounded, if it's normally closed, and then we'll see if when it gets hot it opens, and if that's the case, then it's an over temp sensor. And if it doesn't do that, then it's just a temp sender. And so you won't be able to see exactly what I'm doing. I don't have a head camera available right this minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on ohms, and I'm going to bring it up here, and I'm just going to ohm this thing out and see what it shows. So it should be closed. Yeah, so it's closed completely right now. So we can take one of those wires and put it to ground, and then we can take the other wire and put it on this sensor wire. It's really unfortunate that these two wires back there, I have no idea what they go to. This is a menagerie of stuff here. Hey, what's up, guys? Man, what a nice day it is today. Look at it. Just look at it. What are my options here? This wiring comes around to the front, and it has I don't know what these do. I don't know if this is, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to show here. Oh. What I need to do is check okay, so I got 12 volts. I just need to check a few spots for ground. This is a ground, but it's not a good ground. Huh. That's a million ohms. Yeah. So there's a sensor in between here and there, which makes it weird. Interesting. Let's see what this one does. Normally open, normally closed, and ground. Yeah. So I think this trinary switch is going to end up being if I go from here to here, yeah, that's normally open. And that's normally closed. So what does that mean to me? That means I have to hook up a ground to this one, or this gets its ground from that switch up there, right? What does this normally closed wire end up doing? You know? Okay. All right. So, yeah. So neither one of these is a ground. I would have liked to have one of these be a ground. Oh, that's a ground. Okay. So that one, this is a ground. But what does that mean for me? I'm not really sure what that means for me. This is a ground. Is there a switch? Probably not. What is this thing? This looks important right here. I wonder what that's for. Very interesting, very interesting, very interesting. This is a ground right here. And then this one over here is what? Also ground. Because it's, that there's touching or what? It's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting stuff. So these two are together, so I imagine they were on the front of that switch. And then this wire was connected to that down there. I just don't know if that was plugged in there or not. What I may do is I may roll back the footage. I may roll back the footage of taking the engine out of this truck just to see what was hooked where. I think I'll do that before I get too carried away on making stuff happening. Oh boy. Alright guys, so yeah. So this is my last day I can do anything out here. So I'm going to try and get this bumper fixed up, get some lights up on it. All right. Yeah, one thing you don't want to do when you get a couple of $1,000s worth of bumper is have to beat on it with a hammer. But you know, these bumper companies, they piss me off. I know they piss Seth off. You trust them to do this job right, and then they send you a piece of shit in the mail. It ain't even what you order, and yeah, it's pretty frustrating for everybody involved. What we're going to do, we got these lights from Part Sam. You guys know that Part Sam's been taking care of me since I started YouTube pretty much. And, you know, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool of them to donate these lights. and help me finish this truck for Seth. You know, even before they started sponsoring me with free lights, I was buying their lights. I found them on Amazon, and initially the reason why I made the first order with them was because their lights were cheap, and what kept me buying them is that they were good. They worked out of the box. I had one set that came I had one set that came I think for 11, and they filled up with water, and I called. I reached out to my guy on Facebook and said, hey man, I got these lights from you and they're leaking. And he just instantly, without question, sent me a replacement set. And so that was kind of what kicked off our relationship. You know, I expected the runaround because sometimes, you know, you get some inexpensive stuff off of Amazon, and it ends up costing you a ridiculous amount because you have to buy them several times, you know what I mean? But that wasn't the case with Parts Am. I told you I got one bad set out of. I think I bought 5 sets of roof lights, 3 or 4 sets of brake lights, tail lights, even tail lights for my trailer, and then I had that bad set of tail lights, and I just expected the runaround because I had to deal with the company on a return, and it was so effortless and painless that I told him, I was like, man, you know what, I appreciate how quickly you turn these around for me, and I'm gonna use you guys for all my lighting needs. And after that, they contacted me a few weeks later and said, hey, what if we gave you some free products? Could you be like our brand ambassador? You know, do a collaboration, however you guys want to say it. And so I said, yes, of course I would. You know, even without the free product, I would, because, you know, you guys took care of me on those lights that didn't work. And, you know, I take care of the companies that stand behind the products. So anyways, long story short, I am sponsored by Parts Am, but I was using them before the sponsorship, and even if they said to me, hey, you know, we're not going to be able to continue to supply you with free product, I'd still use them because the product is good, the price is super reasonable, and I'm happy with it. Now I do have some watermelon lights and some stuff like that, and they are going to be lighting Marla up. We're still working out the details of exactly what we're going to put on that truck light wise, but whoops, they're going to be lighting up that truck for me, and you know, that's going to be super cool. Marla is such an iconic truck anyways, and then to be able to, you know, get a bunch of lights for it and make it look even better than it does, it's super cool. So Parts Am, make sure you if you got me on TikTok, I've got a TikTok shop with them. Don't forget to use the published discount code, but you can just order their lights on Amazon. I think I'm an Amazon partner with them as well, but either way, Parts Ham has all of your lighting needs for your big truck and trailer. Cat pee on the corner of this bumper. Oh, it looks nice. Smells good too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these lights in, and then I'm going to make the cords. And I'll probably install the toggle switch. Seth's getting me some factory toggle switches, but in the interim, I'm going to wire these up and install the toggle switch. And it'll be the bumper lights and the chicken lights will all be on one switch. I think that's what he told me he wanted. The less switches, the better. He just wants to be able to, you know, for parking. He wants to be able to leave the chicken lights on and obviously turn off the headlights. Right now it has head and parking on one switch, and I could put these on the parking side, but I think what we're going to do is just push this light right to the bumper. Can't believe I did that. It's the first time I've choked like that in a long time. But I think what we're going to do is we'll just have the bumper lights and chicken lights under the cab on a toggle switch, and then the brake, tail, and roof lights on another one. You know, Seth was going to do this truck himself. You know, he just bought it initially from me, and then I told him, I said, well, you know, for a little bit of money, I can make this truck roadworthy. And it's been kind of a two-edged sword because I've had to dedicate a lot of my time on his truck versus some of my projects. But it's also been nice to see this through as if it were my truck. And he, you know, Seth wants Franny as well. He doesn't want to commit to it right now, but I'm guessing that he's going to end up with that truck as well. And I likely won't do the restoration on that one because I just don't have the time. I got a lot to do on the ranch, so okay, so there we go. We got the lights all installed. Now I just have to make the wiring harness and then get it run up into the truck. I think what I'll do, let me see what you can even see over here. Hopefully I was in the picture. I was. I think what I'm going to do is I think I will run a fused power probably off a circuit breaker. I'll find the lighting circuit breaker and I'll run a fused power or a, you know, switched power out here off a circuit breaker, probably the lighting breaker. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just find a breaker that's not being used or add a breaker. That's probably what I'll do. I'll add a breaker. And then I'll run a hot wire out here to a relay. And then along with the hot wire, I'll run a ground out here, a switched ground, and I'll trip the relay with a ground power from the toggle switch. I think that's going to be the best option. And this thing really is nice. I did a really good job. That fiberglass is thicker than an 1/8 inch in places. But yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll make this wiring harness. We'll incorporate the Truck X lighting in there as well. And Let me ask him. He might want a separate switch for truck X. Well, all right, we had to run to town. I had to get some bolts for the headlights because one of those boxes was open and the bezel screws were all missing. And it was all out of 18 gauge wire. And so ran up to Home Depot. Of course, Home Depot has THHN down to 14, which is why I have so much 10, 12, and 14, because I get it at Home Depot. But they don't go any smaller than that because it's just not a use for it in home applications. So yeah, I had to run over to Tractor Supply and get some wire. And anyways, we got all that handled. We had a little bit of lunch, so now I'm here to do this this job full time. So what we're going to do is, these things are real close to each other, so we should be able to join these in pairs, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put these lights are pretty close together. So what we'll do is we'll do it this way. We'll put these together. See, so we'll be able to put these two lights together, and then they'll come down, and then we'll put two more together. And they're in fours. There's four on the sides, so that's two pairs of these. Yeah. And then we'll do two more pairs, and we'll have 4 and 4, and then we'll link those two together, and then we'll have 4 and 4, and we'll link those two together in the center where it says truck X. And then in this center section, we'll put the relay and that sort of thing. And then we've got some circuit breakers from the old Patty the Parts truck. We'll add a circuit breaker in the bus bar, and we'll run a hot wire off the circuit breaker so that if anything happens to the circuit, it'll just heat up and shut off rather than have a meltdown. We'll have that circuit breaker run out here to the hot side of the relay, and we will jumper from the hot side of the relay to the trigger wire, and then we will use a switch to break the ground, and then we'll just add or remove the ground to turn on and off the relay, which will connect the power. So there you have it. So the plan's going to be 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. So we will get some of these opened up.
What am I supposed to be doing?
Putting the headlights in. We're going to have to use blue, I imagine. We're going to try, yep. You got to take this headlight out because it's not the right one. But you can just start on that side and put the headlights in. And those headlights should have all of the screws, but these headlights don't.
This one's missing one. Oh, it must be the one that you took.
Yeah.
Which side is blue?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Took me a minute to realize what you were asking me, but it shouldn't matter. All right, now I'm going to look and see how this looks. I don't know. I've never done this before, so. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I could have put that in there with that. That's okay. We'll go down to the, we'll do it just right here. Shit, I wish I wasn't in the sun. I'm gonna see if I can move this a little bit.
Want me to help you?
Oop, that'll work. Oh yeah. Okay, so like right here. Probably right here. Need it to be kind of precise, I guess. Those two. So right here. Ouch, that sucks.
Fire hot.
Fire hot.
Yeah, I think they're all done.
Okay, grab those bezels and put them on then. You got them all plugged in, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, grab those bezels and as many of the screws as you can find for the bezels. Because we didn't get any of those. Yeah, those look a little big. Try them and see. They look a little big diameter-wise, you know. Are they? Re-look at it. It has to sit flush on the truck. See what's holding it up and fix it. Because all I'm going to do is go up there and reposition the bezel and then have to get back down here. So it'd be better if you just did it. There's a way that it goes. And you may have to adjust the headlight bucket to where the bezel clears. Can you, if you know what I mean? So guys, this is just boring, monotonous stuff, so I'll probably edit through some of it, but you know, basically all I'm doing is I'm making these harnesses so they can make it to the adjacent light, and then I'm taking this wiring, this wire, and I'm just running them you know, again, to where they can make it to the adjacent light. I wish I could guess how to make that, but I just can't. You got Walmart feet? Oh no. Oh, yeah, this thing is pretty dirty. All right. Is this my water? Okay. Then we'll run probably some 16 gauge or 14 gauge from the bus bar. We'll do a ground and a hot, and then we'll have we'll do 2 grounds and a hot. One of the grounds will be from inside the truck, from the switch to the relay, and the other ground will be from the bus bar to the lights. And then the power off the circuit breaker to the relay, and then we'll go from the relay hot to the relay coil hot with the jumper, and then we'll go to the lights hot from the other side of the coil or the switch and the relay. and then we'll use the toggle switch to send a ground signal to the ground side of the coil and on the relay, and it will pull the hots together. And I think that's better. If you guys think it'd be better to break the grounds, let me know, but I think it'd be better just to do it that way. Anyhow, we're gonna wait till Jessica gets done before I get over there and get up in the way. All right, what is this? Is this 14? Yeah. So this is 14 here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Where is going to be the best exit point here? Probably over there. Oh, come here. Hand this to me on the other side when I get in that door.
Hmm?
Hold on. Just chillax. Chillax a moment. I'm going to try and get that to go through the firewall, but I don't think it will. That's going to be fucking difficult. At best. All right, bring me that wire. So we will need 2 of these and another one of these. So we'll take the strippers and we'll strip these black ones. Probably something like this. Okay, we're gonna try it anyway. My shirt. I don't know why that wouldn't go through there. Went right through here into the light. Oh, hey. Okay. All right. And then this one over here. Okay, and that white won't trip that. Yep. Okay. All right. So I need a couple of things out of the blue box. Okay, I'll be here. Only blue forks, huh?
Snap.
Got a few things to do yet. You can turn off the camera. Going?
Yeah, it's on there.
All right. Well, this is kind of a crazy deal because this truck X light is just some truck lights, some LED lights in there. It's kind of cheesy, actually, the way they build it. But we're going to just see how it works. Is everything on? You think?
It looks like it.
Let me get out of here and see. Ow.
Pop that light back
Boy. Oh, boy. It's not very bright, is it?
Well, because it's daylight, though. And it's
Yeah.
just 2 LED lights on the top that shine down.
Shine down in the box.
Yeah.
Well, if we have to, we'll drill holes in that. We'll drill 2-inch holes all around that box. And we'll put more lights in it. But it's not supposed to be bright. You're supposed to be able to read it.
He must be a door dasher or something.
Looking for something.
Yeah, well, because he's the one who turnn around and went the same direction. And then he just came back this way and turned back home.
All right, let me
Anyway.
fiddle with the stick. Put that camera where you can see the lights. Let me fiddle with this switch a little bit. Off?
Off.
On?
On.
Okay. What?
Camera fell.
Yeah, that's nice. You good?
Yeah.
Oh, it should have been on.
On.
Okay.
On.
You like it?
You gotta come back out in the dark.
Yeah.
Because you can't see the truck X.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.